Hello, teacher. Well, the topic English as a lingua franca. I have two very important questions. The first one is English a global language? And the second one is what is most important to understand proficiency levels in pronunciation or to understand culture? Well, these two questions are very important for me to understand English as a lingua franca. Let's start with the first one. More than 2 billion people in the world speak English. So it's easy to say, it's enough to say that English is a global language because people use it for many reasons. For example, business, internet, tourism, use of technology, etc. David Crystal mentioned that global English is a young visitor that started in the 90s, but it has a big background. As teachers, what do we have to do? Well, the answer is related to my second question. Do we have to insist on teaching good pronunciation? Well, for me, this is a controversial question. I think pronunciation is very important to communicate with others. If we have a good pronunciation, we can differentiate among different words, sentences, statements when we speak and when we listen to the other person, and having a good communication with the other listener or speaker. But what if we are in a place where they use bad English? Or what if we use bad English in a place where they use good English? Are we going to fit in that place or not? Even if we speak fluently, we won't fit in that place due to our accent. So let's take a look at this question again. What is most important? To understand proficiency levels in pronunciation or to understand culture? The truth is that English as a global language has many different ways of speaking. That's why it's very important to understand cultural differences. If we travel to another country, we must be prepared to face different accents, even different uses of grammar. For example, if we travel to India, in India they use present continuous as present tense. Instead of saying, I know the answer, they say, I am knowing the answer. So we are going to face many difficulties trying to understand proficiency in pronunciation. It will be better to understand cultural differences. As teachers, how can we help our students? The answer is obvious, using different types of non-native accents. How can we do that? Well, we have a powerful tool on internet, and it's called YouTube, where we can find a lot of different kinds of accents. Heather Hansen has powerful questions. Who are our listeners? How do they hear or understand the language? It is important for us to know if our listeners will understand what we say. As I mentioned before, if we travel to a country where the listeners use bad English, we have to understand these cultural differences. If we travel to a country where the listeners or speakers use good English, well, in this case, we need a very good pronunciation to communicate with them. That's all, teacher. Thank you very much.